Hello everyone, it's Maria here from Pepperly Rose Paper Crafting. I am a paper crafter from Sydney, Australia. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm just going to be making a card, and I'm also going to be discussing my thoughts about the Stampin' Up or similar MLM business opportunity for you, and give you my honest thoughts. So the stuff I'm using today, the stamp sets and the die I'm using today, have been in my stash for several years. I've just never shown it on camera because of the agreement I had as a Stampin' Up demonstrator in the past. So I'm using Altenew Peony Bouquet stamp set along with its matching dies. As far as I'm aware, it's still a current stamp set and die, but I'm not sure if it has retired. But as far as I'm aware, it is still available. Also, I'm using the My Favourite Things grid background stamp. I've had that in my stash for more than 5 years. I don't even remember how long ago I bought it. So that's what I'm using today. I just wanted to also apologise for taking a bit of a break from YouTube. I have issues with my hands. I've got carpal tunnel syndrome in both hands. It's been well managed for many years. At times it hurts, but this time it was really bad, and I think on a particular night of sleeping, I sleep really weird as well, it was quite painful. Both arms, both hands, like a thumb on my left and my wrist on my right, were very painful due to the way I was sleeping. So my apologies for taking a bit of a break, but my hands are getting better, but I still have my limitations, so I'll take my time with things. So I'm using just thick Whisper White cardstock from Stampin' Up. I've got a lot of it in my stash, so I'm just going to use it all up until it all goes. And basically it's half an A4 sheet, and then I squat it in half again, and it makes an A6 card base. And then I'm going to be getting a piece of just regular Whisper White cardstock. Again, I have a ton of that in my stash, and I'll be using that to stamp my stamped images on there. So I'm just going to bring in my anti-static powder bag, or the embossing buddy, and I'm just running that across my cardstock. And I'm going to bring out my stamp platform, or the Stamparatus in this case, and I'm going to basically stamp the background directly onto the card base. So I'm using that stamp there. Throughout this video, I'm going to be also discussing the Stampin' Up business opportunity and whether I think it's worth it to make a livable income. And I'll just give my thoughts based on my experience of other demonstrators that I've spoken with, and also with the videos I've seen of people leaving Stampin' Up and their reasons, and the common reasons as to why people leave. So I'm just stamping now. I'm just going to stamp only a small section of that background stamp. I'm not going to even do it like a full. It has to be perfect. I'm going to make it kind of look a little bit distressed. So I'm just positioning it there now for the time being, and I'm just getting that right. And I'm going to ink that stamp up with some Versamark ink pad. So I'm just checking there, making sure that it's okay, and I'm grabbing my Versamark ink pad and I'm just inking that stamp up. Certain bits of this video will be normal speed. Others that are pretty repetitive, I will be using faster speed, so you don't have to sit here for 10,000 years. So I'm just stamping the background, and I'm also using a whiteboard eraser. I find that really good on the hands, and it can give a nice even coverage, like impression, by using that. And in this particular case, I didn't ink that stamp evenly anyway, so so don't judge it by that particular impression. So I'm just getting some white embossing powder, and I'm just going to pour it over the top of the card base where I inked it up with the Versamark. And it doesn't have to be perfect, as I said, so some of it will take, some of it will not, and that's exactly how I want it. And as you can see there, that's how it looks, and I think it's absolutely perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat emboss this off camera, and then I shall be back. Thanks. Okay, I'm back. I've just finished heat embossing that, and I'm showing you that now with increased speed because some of the tasks here are repetitive. So I'm just going to be using my Daffodil Delight ink pad, and I'm going to get my craft sheet, and then the rest is self-explanatory. I'm just going to use my makeup brush and do some ink blending. So with regards to the opportunity of earning money with Stampin' Up, I'm going to be realistic here and say to make a livable income out of it, you need years of hard work, and that's being very blunt and honest. So if you're falling for kind of the promises, yes, you can make money with Stampin' Up, yeah, you can, but it's not an easy task, and it is something that takes time, it takes effort, and those that do make money from it and can work from home, kudos to them, because it is really hard work. You have to constantly churn out projects, you have to buy a lot of product, and that's something to consider too. If you're on a limited budget and you think you can make money from Stampin' Up, I really think that you need to kind of get a reality check. It's not an easy thing unless you have a lot of money in your stash. So just quickly back with the card, I'm just using the stamps that are just the light color that show you the shading behind everything. So these stamps are layered stamps, if you're not already aware. So I'm just coloring that up, and you can watch this as we're going along. So basically, yeah, you need a lot of money to do this. It's not easy of just buying a starter kit and away you go. Those that have done that were probably more so at the beginning of their Stampin' Up journey, and it takes a long time to get a presence online if you want to do it online. If you want to have parties as well, unless you know you're part of these crafty groups that have lots and lots of gatherings and things, then you can possibly make money through that. But generally speaking, I don't think it's an easy task. I'm just putting it out there. It's not just based on my experience, but it's based on what I've heard from other demonstrators who've tried so hard and have done so much work for this business, and they find it really disheartening and very, very difficult. And I'm not going to lie, it is a difficult task. So yeah, realistically speaking, do you make money from Stampin' Up? Yes and no. So yes, in that you can, the potential is there, but to get to that level, it takes a lot of work, and you have to eat, sleep and breathe Stampin' Up to do that. And then I'm going to get onto the products, and basically you have to buy a lot of product. After 11 years as a demonstrator, I have a ton of product, and I don't think that it is usable after a while. Like, it retires a lot. So as soon as you buy one stamp set, you'll be lucky sometimes if you get 6 months use out of it, and then it retires, and that happens a lot with their mini catalogs and things like that. Also with the products in the annual catalog, sometimes they only last you 12 months and then it's over. So if you're buying stuff for a business, you will then have to liquidate that stock unless you want to keep it. And so the cycle is continually buying product, and then it retires. Then you have the other issue where if you've been around the Stampin' Up traps or similar a lot, you will find that after a few years they recycle stamp sets, and so they have similar looks to them, but they just change it slightly with a slightly different font, or the animate the images are done slightly different, but they're very similar to stuff that's been done before. So when you start seeing cycles, because you've been in with Stampin' Up or a similar company, you start to think, well, how boring can this be after a while? And innovation is hard with stamps and things, and you have to try not to infringe on people's copyright and things like that. So it's difficult. I think it's difficult for the company itself, and it's difficult for the demonstrator who has to keep updating their stamps, because you can't use retired stuff when you're trying to sell product. Basically, it's ridiculous. You can't do that. So you're left with a lot of stuff. So if you're a fan, you can keep it and enjoy it and use it for your own personal use. But if you want to make this a business, and if you want to show products so you can have people buy it off you, you have to keep buying it. You have to keep buying it. And if you're a smart person, you would sell your product. You wouldn't keep it, and then you sell the product so you can buy some new one, but you never get your money back. So you will always be out of pocket, is what I'm trying to say. So you will constantly buy stuff, it retires very quickly, you're left with stock that's unusable as a business, and then you start all over again buying stuff that's similar, and to show that again and again and again. So it gets a bit much after a while, and it becomes very, very expensive because you don't get your money back. So in a nutshell, you will always be out of pocket. You will always have to keep buying stock, and you'll keep buying money. So the whole idea is not to make the demonstrator make money, because to do that you've got to recruit a lot, and selling you only get 20 to 25% as a commission. You will lose out a lot of money. So unless you have a supportive partner, or you have a ton of cash in the bank already, don't expect to make much money from Stampin' Up. I'm just being realistic, and to save you a world of pain if you want to do this as a business. I'm telling you this because sometimes people fall for the spin, where, oh yes, you can make money, you can be your own boss, you can work from home, everything will be wonderful. The reality is, it can be, the potential is there, people have done it, but those people are very few. They're the top 10%. The rest of the demonstrators and similar MLM setups, the rest of them do not make money. They lose money because they have to keep buying product. And this, I'm just talking about this from a business perspective. If you want to be what they call a hobby demonstrator, that's fine. You still have to have a quota. Whether you sell the amount, then it costs you nothing for the quota that they're after, or whether you purchase it for yourself. So as a hobby demonstrator, it's great. For business, it's difficult. You have to find all these customers, whether it's people that you know, whether you find you have an online presence and you get people to buy from you. So either way, it costs you money. So you have to make a certain quota. In Australia, for Stampin' Up, it's 467 roughly. Don't quote me on it, but it's roughly that amount every 3 months for you to purchase to stay active. So either you purchase it for yourself and get discount for your product, which is fine, or you have to sell that amount in order for you to stay active. And that is no easy task because let's face it, Stampin' Up and similar businesses like this are very niche. So when you are having a niche, you really have to appeal to a small group of people, which makes it very difficult for you to make money. So I'm just telling you this because I want you to understand that the spin you're getting, that you can work money and you can be your own boss, is not always possible. And I would say that 90% of the time, and that's being as rough, but it's a big percentage, it's not easy, and you can't be your own boss because you still have to supplement that income for a long time before you get to that level where you can make this a work from home business. And as I said, unless you have a supportive partner or you have a lot of money in the bank, it's no easy feat. So I'm just trying to let you know that it's not all roses and it's wonderful, I'm making cards and I'm making videos and everything's wonderful. It's not. It costs money to do that. It costs a lot of money. And let's face it, the stamps and the dies are not cheap. Even with your 20% discount, it still isn't cheap. It's a luxury to do this as a gig and as a job. But kudos to those that do. My hat's off to them. I'm just letting you know that if you want to make this a business, it's not easy. Okay? So we'll get back to the card. So I've stamped all the images. I've die cut them, as you can see. And now I'm just fiddling around and just, trying to figure out how I'm going to position everything. So this video, without me quickening it up, took 48 minutes just to make the one card. Isn't that pathetic? But I thought I'd show you me making a card, and so what I'm going to do now is turn it over and I'm going to put some dimensionals on that card. But I really love this stamp set, I have to say. It is beautiful. So I'm just getting some dimensionals and I'm just going to start placing them all over the back. Luckily I had some cut up, so that made the job easy for me to get the smaller bits, and then I'm just going to use the regular dimensionals on the back. And I like the dimensionals, they're a really nice height. So yeah, with regards to my business, look, I've got a supportive husband, so it's been wonderful, but realistically I did not make a lot of money from this, and in fact most demonstrators don't make money doing this at all. It's just fun, you know, but if you want to make it a business, be warned, it's not easy and you're not going to make a lot of money with it. So now I've just finished putting the dimensionals on, and I'm just putting it on the back of the card there, and it's all done. So that's how it looks. Yeah, so what I've decided is it needed a little something else, so I'm just going to grab some pearls, and I'm just going to quickly grab those, and I'm just using my craft pick tool, and I'm just putting 3 little pearls on there. And that's my finished card for today, and I hope you liked today's tutorial slash my thoughts on Stampin' Up being a business opportunity. I wanted to be realistic with you guys, and so you can make an informed decision when it comes time for you to decide if this is for you. I really appreciate you watching, and my apologies for not posting up last week, but I hope you enjoy your week, and thank you for persevering with this video, and I hope you like the card. See you later. Bye. Thanks for watching.